primarily because that's easier for people to say, and also because people make a mess of our name and call us like Virginia Program for the Aged and things that just don't sound very nice to people seeking services. So our goal is to help people navigate the aging process, whatever that means, and also to be the local specialists on aging, okay? So we don't always know the answers to people's questions, but we usually can connect them or help them find the answers they need. We're best known for Meals on Wheels. Many of you have probably heard of that, maybe even volunteered for that. And Meals on Wheels are distributed during the morning, so if you need community service hours and you want to help with something but are only free in the afternoon, it's not an option. But we would love to have you join us at any point. We also have senior centers, and in Harrisonburg and Rockingham County, we have one in Harrisonburg, Timberville, and Elkton, and then we have others in Augusta, Rockbridge, and Bath counties as well. We offer insurance counseling, people who are new to Medicare or just have questions prior to that, plus all the open enrollment mess. I don't know how much you all have heard about that, but every year, starting soon, people have to evaluate their Part D prescription coverage, and so we get a lot of folks who come for that. And VPAS doesn't sell insurance, so we're a really good referral to people for the program that's most appropriate for them instead of the one that makes us money if we sell it. We also do we have some case managers. They go into homes and evaluate whether they can get Meals on Wheels or they're a better candidate for senior centers. And we have Caregiver Community Network, partnership with JMU. Some of you may be aware of that. So we cover a broad range of services for older adults. And by older adults, I do mean adults 60 and over. And the other thing that we provide is transportation. We worked really hard with a transportation grant with the community to find out what the needs were for older adults, especially getting to their medical appointments. And what we learned was that most people just wanted to know what their options were, and they wanted to have it in a quick place. So we just came up with a transportation options card that Centera and other organizations are handing out to people who just have questions. So that leads me to what I do. And the thing that I most want to say to you before I get started is that older adults, which technically is anyone older than you, because we're all older and younger than someone, but adults over 60 really want the dignity of choice. They want to be treated as an intelligent person with life experience, and they want to be explained their options in words that they can understand, and then they want to have help with making their choice or make their choice independently depending on where they're at. And so we found that with this. We find it with our health and wellness programs, which is what I do. We provide chronic disease self-management education in the form of workshops that focus on the problems caused by living with any chronic condition, diabetes self-management, pain self-management, and then a matter of balance. And the Matter of Balance program is primarily the reason that I was invited to speak with you today. It's a fall prevention program based on the idea and the evidence that the leading cause of falls is a fear of falling. And in one sense, that's sort of a bland statement because, of course, if you're afraid of falling, probably makes you more likely to fall. But what we know is that people who are afraid of falling start to shuffle their feet. They start to watch where they're walking at the ground level instead of being aware of their circumstances. They also tend to stay seated more than getting up because they figure if they're not up, they won't fall. That makes them more likely to fall when they do get up. People are socially isolated and they become depressed often, and then that leads to more falls. So it's sort of ironic that people think that if I just stay at home and don't go out, I'm less likely to fall. But we know where most of the falls happen, right? They happen at home. And so staying home really isn't the solution. Staying active is the solution. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about what we do with a Matter of Balance and what we find with older adults. I've done these programs with folks that are in assisted living and nursing care, all the way through folks that attend the lifelong learning programs through JMU. And so all different abilities and awareness of their situations. And the one overriding factor is that they all have to figure out why they should care. Because if you just tell an older adult that they need to exercise, you're probably going to lose them right at that word. If you, however, can help them understand that being physically active is really, really important, and that if they want to continue to do the things that they enjoy doing now, they need to be exercising. We focus on things like the statement that you are never too old to become stronger or healthier. We talk to people about the value of getting down on the floor and getting back up every day, because at some point you lose that capacity, and getting back up is the second most mentioned fear next to falling. It's just, I might not be hurt, but I also can't pull myself or get back up. So there's value in helping people associate that with, do you still want to be able to play with your grandchildren? Or do you just simply want to be able to get back off the toilet by yourself? That's a pretty basic need. So finding out what's in it for them and where their pain points are and what's important to them really is the basis for discovery of then how this program can work well for them. We talk a lot about mindfulness. Okay, we're used to, you guys do this, I'm sure, you look at your phone, you walk with your books, you think about what you have to do next or what you didn't get done. Older adults do the same thing, only not quite at the pace that you do. But one of the mindfulness things that I've heard a lot from people is, I probably shouldn't be walking down the steps with my coffee and my newspaper. No, you probably shouldn't be. How can I do that different? We problem solve. Can you put your newspaper in a bag so that you can still hold on to the railing? Those are some really basic things for mindfulness, but also that point where you have to allow your mind and your body to sort of catch up with each other and connect, because the things that your brain says that you can still do and the things that your body says you can still do are usually a little bit different, and so that's a really important component. We also talk about the interactions of medication and what new medication can do, and so how important it is to review with your pharmacist and your healthcare provider when people get new medications. That's often something that they don't think about. They also don't think about the fact that old medications could be interacting in their body differently. And so just reviewing those once in a while if their balance is off is really important. Assertiveness is another thing that we talk a lot about in this workshop. And you may run into this as you practice with older adults, where the line between being assertive and aggressive gets a little bit blurred. And as people become tired or sick or grouchy or feel that all day long they haven't been heard, they might lean more towards aggressive as opposed to assertive. We really work with people to say, I feel this. I feel frustrated when I can't stand up on my own. I feel frustrated when people don't listen to me. I feel, whatever their frustration is, and this is what I need. One example would be a lady who said, I fall sometimes, and when I tell my daughter that I fell, her instant response is, you got to move in with me. And she said, both of us know that that wouldn't work. I don't want to live with her, she doesn't want to live with me, but she thinks that's the only solution. And so instead we work with her to say, I fell, I tripped over the rug, I know why I fell, I'm putting that rug away, and I need you to help me shop for something to put in that place that isn't a fall hazard. And then you say to your loved one or your care partner, this is what happened, this is what I need, and you don't allow that space for somebody to take over your life. So that is really important, the assertiveness. And so you, in your practices, can help people be assertive and ask them questions to help them say what they need. The component that is most beneficial in a matter of balance is the exercise component. We start in the third week so that they have time to show the exercises to their healthcare providers, make sure that there's no medical reason why they shouldn't be doing them, and then they sign a release. And these exercises, we start with, the head, the neck, the shoulders, these kind of exercises, working the whole way down to the ankles so that they are staying flexible, they're increasing their strength, and it's sort of a gateway to increased exercise, maybe with yoga or Tai Chi or something like that. One of the really exciting exercises that we do that seems really mundane is just putting hands like this and pushing across the body, and then after we do that, pushing up towards the ceiling and pushing down towards the floor. And the reason why that's so important is many older adults fall because of reaching. They reach to the cabinet, they grab a heavy bowl, they bring it down, and they continue to go with it. or they reach down for something like this and they don't have the strength to pull themselves back up. So we talk a lot about exercise or physical activity and why it's important. So if we just tell the older adults to do this, they're not going to continue it past the workshop. But if we help them understand that by doing this exercise, you will continue to stay strong and flexible, and perhaps when you reach into your cabinet to pull something down, you won't fall as a result. So helping folks understand the purpose behind the exercise is really important. We do a side step where all we do is step to the side, get our balance, and bring the other foot to meet it. And step back and bring it together and meet it. If somebody wants to go to the theater or church and they have to slide between the aisles, that's really intimidating. If they realize that they've been practicing this, they don't need to look at their feet, they're aware, their mind and their feet are working together, it's very freeing for them to think, you know what, I can do that. I can go to that program for my grandchildren, and I can walk between those chairs because I've been practicing, okay? Standing up and sitting down out of a chair, we practice that a lot. And using chairs like you have with the arms, we just grab those and push ourselves up just a little bit, not using our feet. That in itself helps people to become more independent because we're strengthening upper body a little bit, and also helping them to remember that they don't need to rock and lean forward completely over their feet before they get up. And so just a lot of the exercises we do increase a person's sense of efficacy, a sense of self-control, so that yes, I can be out without being embarrassed, and I also am empowered to say what I need and how to ask for help. So a gentleman who has his whole life been told that you never take the seat of a woman, you always give your seat up for a woman, standing in a restaurant waiting to be seated falls because there are people sitting in all the available spaces, and even though he's nearly 90 years old and is getting weaker and his balance is bad, he doesn't feel empowered to ask somebody else to give up a seat. When we do a matter of balance and we talk about that, sometimes people can get to the point where they say, you know what, I can go to the host and say, I'm unable to stand this long, can you help me get a seat? So I mean, there's just a really wide range of opportunities for us with balance and strength training, and also the practices of assertiveness and mindfulness, and just being reminded that life doesn't end when you retire, that sitting in a chair isn't really the best activity for you to do all day, and that movement is important. So those are the kind of things that we focus on with this program. This program is out of Maine Health. It's evidence-based and licensed, so we have to do the training and do the workshops exactly as it is written. But you can look, if you Google Maine Health or Google A Matter of Balance, you'll find pages and pages of information about the program, how it has impacted other people, and also the research behind it. Do you have any questions? That was really fast, but hopefully it gave you a little picture of what we do.
How can they reach out to you if they want to do some volunteering?
I gave a whole stack of business cards to Cindy, and I also, all of our emails at VPAS are really easy. It's our first name at vpas.info. So Joyce at vpas.info. Email is the very best way to connect with me. However, if you forget all that and you just look for our website, vpas.info, you'll find lots of different tabs on there. If you go to services and health and wellness, you'll find my information with all the workshops that we offer. And I guess I would just leave you with the encouragement that as you work with older adults, find out what's important to them and what they know and what they want from you, whether just, instead of just jumping in with what you think they need to know from you. If they feel empowered to share their experience with you, I think you'll get a lot farther with them as you work.
Thank you.